Well, welcome everybody to our express call around food combining. We're so passionate about sharing health and well-being with you and teaching you a little bit more about your body so you appreciate it a little bit better and make better choices. So tonight is my absolute pleasure that we have the beautiful Narelle on this call. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on who your speaker is tonight. So Narelle, she has had so many different facets in working with health, with fitness, and in the healing industry for over 24 years. And in that time, she has studied, and I'm going to read this, it's just amazing. She's studied some of the greatest in many aspects of health and wellness and emotional healing, and has done coaching. So some of these things include rebirthing, dysfunctional pattern and clearing, so DPC, Reiki, as well as transformation coaching. She combines all of this to ensure that people are getting lasting results and lasting changes. It's not just a quick fix or a once-off. She's really helping to reprogram people so they're living their most valued, healthiest, thriving life. Recently, which is really exciting, she has partnered up with the amazing ex-Australian netballer Diane McDonald, and they're combining their knowledge and expertise and have opened up their own retreat called the Skyline Escape in Burleigh Head. So they are doing, it's the ultimate in health and wellness transformation programs and retreats and workshops. So tonight, Narelle is sharing all about food combining. It was really hard to choose a topic for you to share, Narelle, because you just have so much knowledge in that beautiful brain of yours. But I'm going to hand it over to you, honey. I will try and manage your slides for you as we go. So I'm just going to spotlight to you, darling girl, so you can open up and have a chat, and then I'll go to share screen as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Candy. That was a pretty amazing intro. Thank you for that. And yeah, as you can see, I sort of thought I'd show a few of the certificates that we have between us here, all the stuff that we are qualified to do. And yeah, raw food and food combining don't actually get a certificate, but they're through some of the other stuff I've picked up a lot of this information. So I'm glad to share that with you because it's something that people don't realise. They don't recognise the importance of food combining. People think what they eat is, we've all heard that saying of we are what we eat, but I heard a much more accurate one just recently, and it's we are what we absorb. It's not what we eat, it's what our body absorbs. And if we don't have a good digestive system, then we're not absorbing the nutrients that we are eating anyway. So it's really important to get the combining right and the transit times and things like that to get that optimal digestive system, because we're hearing more and more these days about gut health and the importance of gut health, and it all starts with this stuff. So Candy, you've got a slide there that shows us the optimal food combining chart. If you can pop that up for me, please, Sweetness, that would be awesome. We got that? Okay, beautiful, loading, loving it. So basically what this chart will show you is the different food groups and what ones you should and shouldn't eat with others. So if there's a join in those circles and stuff, that a direct join, then it's okay to eat those things together. If there's not, then yeah, probably not the best idea, but we all do it from time to time. So for instance, fruit, the saying is fruit alone or leave it alone. So if you're going to have fruit with something else, you are causing a problem for your digestive system. Fruit isn't digested in the stomach like most foods. It actually goes straight into the small intestine. So if you've got other food going in with it, or you've already just eaten and then you're having a piece of fruit, then that fruit can't get straight through to the small intestine. It's going to sit in your stomach and it's going to start fermenting. So you're going to get gas, you're going to get bloating, you're going to get diarrhea, you're going to get all those nasty things happening simply because it can't get through and do what it's meant to do in nature. So fruit alone or leave it alone is best, but we all add it to something. So just be aware that if you've got issues, that could be the cause. There's also different fruits that you should and shouldn't combine together. So we can see the top one, the acidic fruit, should never be eaten with the sweet fruit. But the subacidic can go either way. So that's your peaches and your nectarines and your stone fruit type things. So you can eat them with any other fruit. Melons, again, are a total separate thing. So the good old fruit salad's a bit of a farce. We should never put all those things in one bowl, but we all love it, so we do it, and we'll wear the consequences. But be aware, if you are getting those symptoms, maybe pull out some of those things that might be triggering it. Your liquids. You don't drink with a meal. If you want a good digestive system, drink a glass of water or something 10 minutes before you eat, but never with a meal. It's a habit. It's something that we're taught from a kid from parents who didn't know any better, because it's all learned behavior. But if we're drinking while we're eating, we're actually diluting the enzymes that break down that food. So it won't digest as readily or as quickly as it should do. So try to limit to 10 minutes before, a good half hour after, before you have your liquid, whether it be water, tea, coffee, wine, whatever. Then the other stuff we've got, your starches and things like that. The main one to remember here is try not to eat protein and carbs meal. And we all do it. The good old steak and chips, or a sandwich with meat and stuff like that. But optimal health and optimal digestion says that no, because they use different enzymes to break down. So one's going to use acidic, one's going to use alkaline. Now, while you're eating one of those at a time, it can do its job quite efficiently, but you combine them, the acidic and the alkaline enzymes counteract each other, they neutralize each other, and it's going to take 3, 4, 5 times as long for that food to digest. It's sitting in your stomach, it's sitting in your digestive system, and what sits in your colon there gets reabsorbed in. So while it's sitting there, it's starting to ferment, it's starting to rot and decay. I went to a documentary not long ago, and they highlighted that in autopsies, they've found meat in people that were vegetarian for at least 8 to 10 years. So it sits there for a damn long time. So if you want to optimize that and have things passing through efficiently, then try to avoid putting those things together. Now, ideally, you should be going to the toilet 15 minutes after every meal. If you've got a good, healthy digestive system, you will be expelling 15 minutes after you input, basically. If you think about it, the intestines are like a great big long sausage. We all know what it looks like, but if you've got a sausage and you try to push something in one end, of course something's going to come out the other end. It's not that what you're eating is going straight through you, it's what's been sitting there for a few days beforehand is making way for what's coming in. And the digestive system triggers that. As soon as you start to eat, those enzymes start to break it down, and it says, hang on, make room, push some stuff out. So ideally, if you're going to the toilet 15 minutes after every meal, you have a really healthy digestive system, which is great. So the other food combining rules, we've got, well, I think I've covered most of those. The one that I haven't, that I've got here on a slide, is drink your food and eat your juice. So it should be at least 20 chews to every mouthful. So you're liquefying any food that you take, and you're chewing your juices so that it feels like it's eating a food. So that really activates the enzymes within the mouth, which is where all of our digestion starts, all the way to your stomach and then to your small and large intestine. So that's the basic rules. What else did I want to do? I know we don't have a lot of time, and I could rattle on for ages for all this stuff, but the other thing I thought I'd just touch on briefly is the cooked versus the raw food. Candy, if you can slip to that one, please, sweetie. That would be awesome. So I know people think, oh, I eat a lot of veggies, but so I'm eating a good diet. And it's like, yeah, how are you eating them? Are you cooking the guts out of those? Even just like steaming will still take away 50% of your protein. 70 to 80% of the nutrients are lost through the cooking process. And this is the most important one. 90 to 95% of the phytonutrients, which are the healing properties of food, are lost as soon as you cook it. So basically, there's no healing properties in cooked food. So you can eat all the cooked veggies you like and your body still won't be able to repair itself. It still won't have that healing power. 70% of everything we eat every day should be raw. Have a little bit of meat or whatever if you're a meat eater. Have a little bit of your cooked food if you're a veggie. You can still do a little bit, but try to keep as much as you can live food. Because live food has energy. Cooked food doesn't. If you're looking for vitality and youthfulness, you need the live food. People go, oh, I'm starving off, I need some energy, I'm feeling lacking in energy. And then they go for something that's going to use more energy to burn up and digest than what they're getting out of that food. So it's counterproductive, really. It's like, yeah, it's just people just don't have that knowledge, and it's a bit of a worry because they keep eating all the wrong foods and wondering why they're not getting better or why they're putting on weight or why they don't have that energy after they've eaten. Juicing is a great way. You actually get 4 times more healing properties out of juice than you do the raw food because it breaks it down and activates what needs to be done. By that breaking down process, it's already activating that thing. And then it starts to work a lot quicker because it can go straight through into the digestive system. It's absorbed a lot more efficiently. So if you've got any health issues, definitely go juicing. Go the raw food for as long as you can. I was watching a doco the other night. They were curing diabetes type 1 and type 2 in 30 days, raw food. Amazing stuff. And it's all just food. It's just food. You don't need the chemicals. Your body never craves chemicals. It just craves good nutrition. Okay. So I think we've got the next slide just shows the energy of live food versus cooked food. So again, you're eating something that's cooked, not a lot of energy there, so it's really not going to help you. And like I said, digestion is actually the second biggest user of energy in the body, bar sex. Sex will use more than digestion, but that's why if you have a big heavy meal at night, you're exhausted when you wake up the next morning because your body hasn't rested. It's been churning away all night to break that food down and do the job that it needs to do. So eat light at night, and ideally try to eat before dark because no animal eats after dark unless it's nocturnal. So try to abide by some of the nature's rules, and you'll find that you'll heal better, quicker. There's so much to be said. And supplement. Just the soil's getting depleted more and more these days. People aren't taking care of it, so it can't produce the nutrients in the food that it used to because nobody's looking after it. So yep, we can eat it, and ideally you want to be eating organic as much as you can, but still it's not going to have that same nutritional value that it would have done, or unless it's from a farm that's really looking after its soil and making sure that those nutrients are there. So supplementation is important where we're lacking things. Get your greens into your vitamin C is amazing. And I could go on, but I won't because I know we're short of time, Candy. And I thank you for your time and for allowing me to share some of this information. And yeah, love your work. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you so much. It's that was so, that just reminded me so much about raw food, and it's so true because everything is energy. And I was listening to a whole food coach talk today, and she was saying about the 5 areas that we get our energy from. And I was trying to repeat this at class before and I forgot, but it was like, breath and food, obviously, but also exchange, that we get energy from others in our environment. Water, because water is just pure energy. You've got beautiful, good quality water. The third one I think was movement and rest. I'm not 100% sure. I cannot remember. But, it is so true, when we look at what we're eating. Oh, sorry, I put you on. Here you go. Sorry, Narelle.
The sunshine would be in there somewhere.
I think that might have been it. Yeah, it wasn't rest and exercise. She did mention that, but it was kind of more It was so true. Vitamin D, yes, vitamin D. So it was sunshine. So, you know, we have to go back to nature. That is the you know, the best thing that we can do. That's why I had to have, you know, your healing foods and things like that up from your slide, because it is, you know, we just need to nourish on that cellular level every single day. And going back to raw food is so, I even completely forgot about, you know, the cooking of it. Like we, you know, when we look at our products and what have you, it's all about low temperature and low quick, you know, keeping everything alive. So I was like, oh, I steam my veggies and I cook my veggies. I was like, oh my goodness, why did that not even click? So there were some really good aha moments there. So thank you so much. And I just wanted to open it up to see ladies, you know, if you've got, I'll just stop sharing screen now. If there's any questions, just quickly before we go, that you might want to ask Narelle, I'll take you all off. I'll unmute you. So Vic, I'll unmute you. Talani, I'll unmute you. Amanda, I'm going to unmute you, and then you can mute yourself again just in case the kids are going cray-cray. Oh, some people don't want to be unmuted. Okay. Ladies, I know, Carol, you're there too. So have you ladies got any questions for Narelle before we kick off?
Just one. You know, rehydrating food and vegetables, fruit. Is that just killing all the goodness?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. So I will look into that a little bit more and come back to you on that. But I think fooders will dehydrate food to make crackers and things like that. So it's the way they do it, that they're doing it slowly and on a low temperature, that they're maintaining as much of that nutrition and stuff as they can. But as far as the healing properties, as soon as there's heat involved, you're probably losing a lot of the healing qualities of it.
Yeah, no, it just crossed my mind because I just purchased one 2 days ago.
Yeah, but no, I mean, and everything has its place. Like, unless you want to be really, really strict and sort of limit yourself as to how social you can be and stuff, it's all about moderation. It's about knowing what's healthy for your body. And if you've got any issues, then that's when you want to focus on your raw fooding and your juicing and normal life. Introduce a little bit more of the normal stuff, but know that there's consequences if you go against the food combining rules. And I might add there too that the food combining rules don't apply to juicing, because it breaks it down and it's already in an easily digestible form. You can combine your fruit with your veggies, and you're not losing that. You're not going to have the same issues as you would if you tried to eat them together. So yeah, that's what. Some of the greens and that can be a bit tart and a bit thing. So adding a nice green apple or a bit of pineapple to make it more palatable works fine. It's great.
Oh, thank you so much, beautiful girl. I have to race to get our next call on. But Vic and Carol and everyone who's on the call tonight, if you do have any questions about food combining, I'll chuck you all in our Epic Living group. I'll chuck Narelle in there. She's our little guru to understand that gut health and food combining. So, or you can just message me your questions as well. So, and Vic, you obviously see Narelle on the weekend, so write those questions down as well, my darling. But thank you again, Narelle, so much. Your knowledge around how food plays in the belly and how it's just phenomenal. So you've just added so much value, darling, so much value.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I could help, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, Vicky.
Okay, see you then, Narelle.
Bye,
beautifuls.